season?
Yeah, the guys sort of, I guess, ambled as the, I don't know if it's the right word or wrong word, through the first half of that session, and then Brendan pulled the guys in at drinks there, and Kane gave us a bit of a few stern words, and yeah, it did need something. It was sort of meandering along, and England was sort of cruising a little bit. So yeah, I guess it was just everyone just lifted a little bit. I think we're just sort of just, as I say, sort of meandering along in the field, and then got one wicket, and we're lucky enough to pick up a few. So turned it a little bit, I guess.
Have you got a mind you comfortable chasing?
No, I think there's still a lot of bowling to do. We've got to turn up tomorrow, and I guess try and do a job that we started to do tonight.
Do you feel you're back in the game though? So there was a stage after tea where it looked like it was drifting well away.
Yeah, definitely. I think now we're into the bowlers. Finn's obviously in, and then we know Broad is capable with the bat, and Swan's also dangerous. He can score some quick runs. So we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've still got a job to do, and there's still some batting to come. But it is nice to know turning up tomorrow that we are into the bowlers.
Tim, how much of the footmarks playing on the team's mind?
Yeah, I think by the looks of that one that Kane got trot with it, it has turned a little bit. So yeah, I guess that plays on the minds of the batters a little bit. So it's not everyone's turning, but I think when you get in those footmarks, there is a little bit there.
What do you do to counter that? What's the sort of team you're sort of?
You're asking the wrong man, I think.
Don't drop off the over today.
I think we'll discuss that. We've still got a job to do with the ball, and then when it comes to batting, we'll discuss that closer to the time.
Ruth mentioned that the pitch was very slow. What was the challenge for you as a bowler? What was the key to ground?
I think our length, you touch fuller, and wasn't a hell of a lot of swing there for us with throughout the whole of today. So we almost had to try something else, and then it started to do a little bit later on in that last session. So yeah, it was a touch on the slow side, but I think there's still ways to go about it, and we just sort of adjusted our lengths a bit.
Prior big wicket, getting in second time.
Yeah, he has obviously had a great series in New Zealand, and everyone knows he's a world class batsman, and can take a game away from his side with his destructive nature. So yeah, he was a big wicket because of the way he can come out tomorrow and play aggressively and score quickly.
You spent some time off the field yourself before coming back in the evening, is that right? Are you all fully fit?
Yeah, I just had to tape up a couple of blisters on the toes.
How's your hand?
Hand's fine. Yeah, just stung a little bit, got in the palm of the hand, and but after that there's a little bit of bruising, but it's fine.
How have you felt about your bowling in the last few tests? So it seems like you've been a little bit unlucky, perhaps bowling well without the rewards. I mean, what's that how you see?
Well, I guess that's cricket. Yeah, coming back into it in the home summer, back from a thumb injury, and felt like it was getting better and better as the series went on, and then had that little break, sort of freshen up a bit, and then came over here and probably haven't had the overs under my belt I would have liked, but it is feeling good, and the more I'm bowling, the better it feels.
How good is it to be part of that trio, which you guys seem to be just on top of your games as a group?
Yeah, it is, and obviously Doug Bracewell bowling well as well, and taking wickets in the warm-up game, and creating that pressure for us to keep doing well, and to keep him out the way he's bowling. It sort of shows that we must be doing a reasonable job. So yeah, we seem to be gelling pretty well as a bowling unit, and things tend to be going a little bit our way towards the end of today.
Talk about the football.
So Brendan McCullum was obviously a big win for England today. Do you think, have any impact on maybe a bit of a psychological lull in the day today?
No, I don't think we got off to a great start. Would have been nice to kick on from the position we got ourselves into yesterday, but we can't do anything about that. Our first innings is over and done with, and as I say, we turn up tomorrow and we've got a job to do with the ball, and then once that's done, then we've concentrated on our batting. But yeah, it was a disappointing start today, but I guess it was a satisfying end.
What you said about the footballs, would you expect Swan to be the big threat for you when you come to bat?
Yeah, and I guess if they get it swinging, James Anderson, he showed the class he's got in that first innings, and he's got a great record here. So I guess those two are probably the two keys for them.
Tim, just looking at the last couple of mornings here, when the conditions are there, it seems like that's when the ball's doing the most. Is that sort of not put more pressure on you, but more emphasis to take those wickets early when it is there for you?
Yeah, people talk about looking up here at Lords, and if it's cloudy, then it tends to swing around. So yeah, it did do a lot this morning, but I think England bowled a lot better this morning than what they did yesterday. So yeah, it was, I guess, another thing is that ball we had didn't tend to swing. Was a little bit warmer and the sun came out, but yeah, just didn't really swing as the day went on. But yeah, so.
Is the reality that perhaps it swings a bit more when it gets a bit older and you get one side definitively shone?
Yeah, it doesn't tend to swing straight up at the start, so it takes a couple of overs to once that lacquer wears off, and tends to swing after that.
Tim, Joe Root's wicket has sparked 2 collapses for England. Fledgling career, what have you made of the youngster?
Yeah, he showed glimpses of a promising player. Did well in the one-day series back home. Probably didn't do as well as he hoped in the Test series, but he should come out obviously the start of this summer in county cricket and the Lions game against us and even the Test here, and he's shown that he's a player for the future.